Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brad, and welcome back to Screamin' Pirate EDC. Today, we have a plunder or plank. So if you haven't been here before, a plunder or plank is a knife whenever I finally make a decision on it. Am I gonna plunder that knife? Am I going to, take it with me? Or is it going to walk the plank and get out of the collection? So this one's going to be a little bit unique, guys. I'm doing it on the pre-order prototype of the Urban EDC Supply Copita. Now, this knife does not belong to me. I have not been able to use it, take it apart, etc., etc. Just wanted to let you guys know about that. But before we get into the review, let's have a little bit of consistency. What's on me today, guys? So today, my mug is going to be the George Deddington mug. Yes, that's what it's called. Yes, it's hilarious. Big old tankard, love it, holds a lot of coffee. Next up, my coin is going to be the Tempest Fugette. This is from Yates Knife and Tool, Time Flies, and a very good friend of mine, Noco EDC, actually gave this to me. Next, my pry bar is going to be the Atlas Pry in 3V from Cerberus Knives. And my pen is going to be the Nautilus, because of course it is. Remember, September 8th on these is when they end. Get you one if you like the fidget, okay? And then lastly, guys, I have to have a Hank, because what else am I gonna clean the glasses and the knives and everything else with? It's going to be the Erling EDC Hank from Renegade EDC. All right, guys, all that's out of the way. Let's get into this. So if you haven't seen the unboxing, I will have a pop-up, but this is the Urban EDC Copita. Now, I have the black version. There are other versions that I will go over in a little bit, but wanted you guys to see that nice intricate pivot and kind of get a good idea of what you're looking at. So, now that you know what we're reviewing, let's head down to the tabletop, do some specs, do some size comparisons, and yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at this one. All right, guys, we are top down. So, now that we are down at the tabletop, let's do a few size comparisons to get things kicked off. So if you haven't seen it, go ahead. There will be a pop-up for my best Civivi knife. But the one that I think is the most similar here is going to be the Civivi bow. Now, as you can see, the bow is definitely, longer, but it is slimmer. But I think the ergonomics on the Copita are definitely better here. Next up, if we're talking gentleman's knives, why not talk about the Pena Raptor. Let me get him. He likes to fall over because of that clip. So about the same size as the bow. A lot of people know Pena knives, and this is a good idea of what you're looking at with a Pena next to these two. Lastly, as far as slimmer knives, let's take a look at the Wii knife here. Now this is the Wiimote. A lot closer. So if you have a Wiimote or you have a significant other that does, well, that gives you a good idea. All right, guys, well, let's get these off the table, because the ones that I really want you to see are going to be coming up here. Now, most people have, some kind of pen. So this is the short tactile turn pin, and this is the Nautilus. So it's actually about the same size as a Nautilus pin and the short from tactile turn. Also, if we're doing pins, why not show you a Fisher Space Pen? Now, the short from tactile turn is about the same size open, and if we close the Copita, hey look, it's about the same size as a Fisher Space Pen closed. So, just so you guys get a rough estimate here. Lastly, the one I'm going to leave up on screen for you guys the longest, because I think this is easily the closest comparison here. Spyderco Dragonfly, guys. When I finally held these together, I went, oh my God, it's a higher end Spyderco Dragonfly. I mean, literally, guys, that's what it reminded me of. So, kind of blew my mind a little bit. I was a little bit shocked. All right, guys, so now that we have all of that on there, I'm gonna close up the Dragonfly, set him just out of frame. Well, let's set him up on that corner. And let's go ahead and do some specs for you guys. So I like to see weight first because I'm strange and I just do. 2.69 ounces. So not too bad, little over an ounce an inch on that blade, which you guys are about to see. And let's go ahead and grab the calipers. Let's see here, they are zeroed in. So the blade, we are looking at about 2.2 on the blade. The handle, about 3.28. Yeah, 3.28 on that handle. Our handle thickness, ooh, come back. At the thickest point is going to be about 0.46. Our blade behind, not behind the edge back here, but blade thickness, oh, let me get that focus, is 0.14. And then our thickness behind the edge, if I can bring him up, is about oh gosh, guys, this gets really thin. About 0.02, guys. That's super thin, in my opinion. Well, there's your specs on your Copita. So let's go ahead and get the calipers turned off, get him opened up, and get the Dragonfly back in front of him. So now that we have some specs, guys, let's talk about my opinions on the Copita. So it's a little bit tough to give you my full review just because this is a prototype, does not belong to me, and I have not been able to take it apart, been able to cut with it, and really carry it more than just, you know, putting it in my pocket with nothing else and, you know, sitting at my desk for a bit, guys, and that's about it. But I do think it is a great size. I think it is a great fifth pocket because you guys didn't know, my favorite fifth pocket to just throw in is the Dragonfly. But the Copita, I mean, you're getting M390, you know, frame lock. It's very nice. My only gripe is that clip. I think the ramp is a bit high, and so it kind of digs into my hands personally, but I mean, there are worse things, guys. Really, there are worse things. The other thing that I really like about this little guy is the variations. So the all black with this like silver hardware is $240. There's also a titanium version with blue hardware, which is also $240. But where you really are getting your value, in my opinion, is in the two micarta options. So I will go ahead and have a pop-up for you guys of the other options they have available. But the other two micarta options, one is natural micarta, and the other one is green micarta with a brass back spacer and a brass inlay on the clip part. Those are only 200 bucks, guys, for M390. That's real good. That's real good. Yeah, I gotta admit, if you're looking for a small knife and you need something that's under 3 inches, and you want something a little bit on the higher end and, you know, not all the under 100 stuff, if that's kind of your game, like it is mine, yeah, the Copita's looking real good, real good. Yeah, guys, I think overall my likes are, I love the blade steel, I love the materials, I love the options you have, and the fact that it's basically a higher end Dragonfly is kind of great. So those are my impressions on the knife. Let's go ahead, head back up, and I will tell you if this knife is going to be plundered or planked. All right, guys, we are back up top. So now that you know my likes and dislikes and the specs on the Copita, is it going to be plundered or planked? So, because I cannot take this knife apart, because I cannot use it, I cannot really carry it, there's still a little bit of grit in the action, which I think could be worked out. I think it's literally just, needs some lube, needs some time to work in, especially on the coated blade. I think that this knife is great. I think that it is a great comparison to the Dragonfly. Honestly, guys, these are damn close. If I was in the market for a 5th pocket knife and I wanted something that was a little bit, smaller gentleman's carry, not quite as, say, like long as some of the other options, I think this would be plundered. I really do, guys. I mean, I think this is a great knife, especially if you look at it next to a Dragonfly. I mean, guys, that's crazy. They're so good. They're so similar. M390 and all the options available. I mean, getting M390 in micarta for $200, that's great. I think this is a knife that is definitely worth a pickup, and it's definitely going to be plundered if I was in the market for a 5th pocket knife. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this review, and you know what? I'll catch you on the next one.